listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good, host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Cedric Mullins. Fact. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. So you've been through Septembers before. You've been through all kinds of Septembers, right?
Yes. A bunch of different ones.
So we just actually, we were sitting here just over there with Andrew Benintendi, the White Sox.
Okay.
And I said, Andrew, you have to understand, when you made that catch in front of the standings and the scoreboard in 2018, the Orioles had 48 wins. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, how long ago does that feel like for you?
I'd say it's a combination of both. It feels like it's way behind us in history, and there are times throughout the season where we have to go back to those days and understand we're in a really good spot.
So what advice is when you're young and you're going through something like that? Is there any advice you can give anybody in terms of, hey, listen, better times are ahead? They say better times are ahead.
Yeah, there's a certain type of commitment that you need to have to truly know that better times are ahead. In the midst of that season, one of my better years. It's just one of those weird things where, as a team, we couldn't really put it all together, but there are a lot of individual performances that kind of show that there were better times coming. I think that's a testament to you, though. The fact is, you're a young player, you're having a good year, and it's hard to show up at the park, man. Yeah, I was told
you want to win.
Yeah, I was told by a lot of guys on opposing teams that what I was doing was special. To be able to go out there, continue to stay locked in, continue to perform well for the team in the midst of the struggle. Like you said, testament to me and just what I was bringing to the table back in those days.
Well, give me a good lesson. Give me a good something somebody told you.
Let's see. I was talking to Altuve actually. We were playing the Astros, and we actually play them really well every time, even when we weren't that good. And I was on second base. I think I hit a double or stole second, and he literally told me, he was like, "Hey, what you're doing is really hard to do. To perform the way you're performing on a team that's not really winning that many games. Keep at it. Good things are going to come with that."
He did it. I mean, he went through it, right?
Yeah. He went through something similar to it.
Did you talk to him about that?
We're in the midst of a game, so it's tough to go through the whole story.
I don't know if you loop back and say, "Hey, listen, I want to follow up on this conversation."
Nah, I just I took his word for it. Just continued to really stay focused on what I could contribute, and the rest kind of followed.
Okay, so this. I love this conversation because you've gone through the tough times. When did you remember it starting to turn? And we can say, again, the promise is the promise. Oh, no. We got all these guys coming up, Cedric. It's going to be okay. But when did you actually feel okay, legit? I mean, you can tell now.
I'll be honest. In 2022, we had a pretty quick turnaround. That was the year Adley got called up. He was a huge difference maker for us. Just brought a different life, a different energy to Baltimore. Credit to him. He was performing under a lot of pressure.
Did you realize that was going to take like it did?
I knew that he was going to have to go through his adjustments, especially early. He went through his struggles, but there were clear signs that he had what it takes to be a successful big leaguer. And like I said, I think we finished. Did we finish above 500?
You finished. Well, you had a great September.
We were really close.
Yeah.
We were really close, if not finishing above 500, and that right there was a huge turning point by itself. And then 2023 was the year what it was.
But the thing is, so I've seen teams that are you have good Septembers, right? It's okay, and then you picked, and sometimes it doesn't carry over. I don't know when you show up to spring training, okay, let's go. Let's go. We can hang with the big boys. And when I say hang with the big boys, that's just the reality of it, right?
Yeah, I'd say I think a lot of guys' approach to spring training is improving themselves to help the team. If you can improve yourself throughout a full 162, that's going to be better for the team itself. And then when you have a full roster of guys that are self-improved, you're 100% going to be
and everyone came self-improved that.
Everyone came self-improved.
Really?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just we were good in 2000. Hey, we won the September 2022 World Championship.
Yeah, it takes a lot of guys figuring out adjustments they need to make and executing them.
So you get into that year, 2023. Is it right away? I mean, was it like again like you? I remember. So that year actually, I get my years. Tampa. That was the year they started like 100-0 or something, right? Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But that's the point. Is like they knew when you win that much early, you feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, that's a heck of a head start.
Yeah.
And I think they literally went like 15-0 to start the season.
It was nuts.
But we knew we were playing good ball, and like you said, it didn't feel immediate, but we kept chipping away at it, and we were finding ways to win. I think that was our identity that year, finding ways to win. We had a lot of trail from behind victories.
That's another thing too.
A lot of guys dogging out at bats for sure.
Yeah, and so you want to scream from the mountaintops, "Hey everybody, we're for real."
Yeah.
Believe me, you probably want to scream that for like 2018.
Yeah.
But when people have been sort of, it took, when you have a fan base that's sort of been beaten, let's say beaten down a little bit, it's like, hey, I mean, you probably want to say, hey, everybody, come on, we're good.
I think the fan base is proud of us in terms of how quickly we made this turnaround. I don't know if people expected this to be as snap of the finger as it was from going from 21 to 22 and having that much significant improvement, and then 23 literally following that doing even better. So it's that two-way streak. We appreciate the fans very much for supporting us, even during the tough times. It is a waiting game at that point, but once we started to show that improvement, they really showed out.
When did that? So I asked you when you felt it about for the team.
Yeah.
When did you feel for the fan base?
We started to have some really big crowds come out outside of just the giveaway days.
Right. Bobblehead night,
outside of the bobblehead nights, and that was huge for us. We got to experience I'd say it to an extent playoff atmospheres. Like we got to experience every hit makes a difference, every play makes a difference, and to feel that energy, we feed off of that energy 100%.
Had you felt that way?
There were moments where I felt that way, even in 2021. Again, it was a big year for me. I remember specifically, I had my first T-shirt night.
Okay.
And T-shirt night in Baltimore in 2021, and I had a showing. I hit 2 home runs that day. We won the game. Great crowd. That was a different feeling for me, and that carried over for the past couple of years.
T-shirt. Had you ever T-shirt night is T-shirt night.
T-shirt night is
I said this. Joe Kelly, who owns the LLC to this this podcast.
Okay.
He's had bobblehead nights, but once you have a T-shirt night, that's next level.
That's literally rounding the bases the second time. I noticed everyone twirling their T-shirt in the air, and again, that was just a sick view. It was awesome.
When you were 10-year-old Cedric Mullins to say I'm gonna have a T-shirt night, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely did not expect 10-year-old me to see that coming in the future. It's cool.
Did you ever, when you were a kid, did you ever go to who was your guy?
Yeah, so I enjoyed watching the Braves growing up, and
Did you?
Andrew Jones is my favorite player.
Yeah.
So
Sweet spot. Yeah.
It was unbelievable watching him out there in center field, and got my bobblehead or two on occasion, and it just grew the love of the game for me.
That's the sweet spot of the Braves where you were growing up, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. So anyway, so you go to the fan base comes in, and now you're driving in, and now you have the people spraying people with hoses, and which is cool, like this, and you guys have the things in the dugout and everything else. I'm just gonna keep. It is such an awesome story for you to go through it too. You should be. I am holding you up because I'm this is the lesson that you have to persevere personally, as a team, and everything. I'm building you up, I know, but it's what a journey, man.
Yeah, every time I have a moment to kind of reflect and think back on just how my career has gone so far, it's definitely something to smile about. I get excited about what I've done, and I get excited about what I want to do in the future too.
It must be so much easier to come to the park though. You're winning, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's easier to come to the park. It's tough to come back after a loss.
Is it? Yeah.
Because our expectations are high, so finding ways to come out with a win is huge.
That's when you know that you're good, when you're losing hurts more than celebrating winning. Does that?
Yeah,
I totally botched that. But
And
you know what I'm saying.
I tell guys all the time. I was like, some guys get really hurt after a loss, and I tell them, I was like, you don't know what losing is.
Oh, really?
They don't know what losing is. Some of the younger guys, and it was like, we'll be all right. It was like, come at them tomorrow, fresh mindset, knock it out.
I mean, that's the tough part, right? As a baseball player, it's such a long season, and you see probably guys wear it, and like, listen, dude, I had to wear it over 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so, and then the other part about this story is, this past off season where you have new ownership, right? And so, take me through where you get. I think it was back-to-back days, right? You get ownership, then you make the Corbin Burns trade, right?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Where were you when all this?
I
stuff
was
happened?
actually when the new ownership had taken place. I was at the house. News feeds coming through.
Did you know it was coming? Did you have any idea?
I knew there was talks about it for a while.
Yeah.
You just never know when that's going to break through. When it finally did, I was more interested to see what the fan base was thinking of it. The excitement was definitely brewing, and then the Burns trade following that. I was actually in Baltimore when the Burns trade happened, so it was cool. I was at a signing, interacting with fans.
Did you find out during the signing?
I found out right before we started, actually. So
did you really?
I found out right before we started the
cursive
signing.
Must have been never been
so,
better. Yeah.
That entire engagement was cool. It was fun because again, we're bringing in someone that has proven history of success, wants to win, is ready to come in and be a part of the culture that we kind of started over the past couple of years. So he's been great.
But that's another thing. You're waiting, you're waiting for that next level of evolution, right? We're like, okay, we got good young talent, we've evolved, but you have to commit. Like we want to commit. We want to be like the big boys. But that was to me anyway. That was the difference. That was when they're saying, let's go.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of anticipation of what was that going to look like, and when they announced that trade, it was huge. I was like, yeah, like it's showing not only the fans
you must have
and
a
the
sprint of your
players.
step walking out of that.
Yeah, it was
autograph
awesome.
signing.
It was awesome. It showed everybody that we're going for it. It's when you can look past the business side of things and you see the true effort from the front office to, hey, we're trying to put a winning team out there to go get the World Series.
That's good.
It was an awesome experience.
All right, I want to talk about you. Congratulations. You're fun to watch. Yeah, you are, man. Like it's how much better a player you talk about before, but everybody evolves. How much better a player are you to say than when we're looking at the standings and we're having a good year, but your team isn't doing? How much better a player are you? You feel like?
Yeah, I think just being able to work through the ups and downs of a season has made me a player in general. It's made me more mature in the game, understanding that as long as I commit to the process of what a full season brings, I'm going to look up and I'm going to have a good season at the end of the year. It's there's a lot of challenges that come with that, of course. There's outside pressures. There's, your family wants you to do well, so they're hitting you up all the time trying to figure out what's wrong. And there's not much you can say. You just know, physically, mentally, where you are trying to get to, and it's a matter of finding the steps to get there.
But you probably can handle the family text a little bit more.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at handling the family texts. I know it's all out of love. I think that's what is the most frustrating about it is, they're trying to help. Sometimes it's out of their league, and other times it's exactly what you want to hear. It's just a matter of their consistency. At some point it's going to click.
Did you get MVP votes? You've gotten MVP votes.
I've gotten MVP votes.
Okay.
Yes.
What was your highest finish? What was it?
So that 2021 season, 9.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you, not American League. We've been asking people this. Lindor versus Ohtani, right?
Lindor versus Ohtani.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable picking this, up to you. No. But I want to get your perspective of having. I've never been in the top 10 in MVP voting. You have? I have voted for MVP. I probably voted for you. I think I did vote for you.
Nice.
I did vote for you for
awesome.
for MVP votes. So just give me your perspective on that, because I think it's an interesting one because it's obviously DH versus position player.
Yeah, there's a lot of caveats that go into just winning MVP. Period. I haven't taken as full a dive into their numbers as I would need to make a full assessment on it, but off the rip, just from an end of season standpoint, Ohtani, if he hits that 50-50 mark,
that's tough, man. It's kind of
in
like
my mind, it goes to
kind of like Acuna with the 7, right?
The 47.
Yeah, 47,
it's never been done. Like how does a guy that's done something that's never been done not win MVP? It's just a very hard argument to make.
That's a good one. All right, last thing is we've been asking people these 2 stupid questions. Hot or not, another good or bad.
Okay.
Candy corn.
I'm on the not side. It's never been something I've liked. Period. And as far as I know, people around me didn't like it either. So I don't know who's hot on it. That's totally on them.
All right.
I'm not going to judge nobody for liking what they like.
All right. Math, because we're starting school.
I'm great at math.
Are you?
So I'm hot on that. Yeah.
I feel like there may be like the math thing. I'm going to get a lot of because especially in baseball, people like math. But there's always one subject you're like, why am I taking this? And it used to be math.
Math was you? Yeah, math for me. I enjoyed math. I did. That was my bread and butter. Honestly, the highest. I guess I don't know what levels per se they equate to, but I took calculus in high school, so I was pretty good. That calculus was not easy. It whipped my butt, but still took it. Found a way to pass. If I took it again, I'd probably do better. But
right. See, I asked the wrong guy that question. But I asked you're the right guy for everything. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.